Hi, I'm Jennifer Kendall, the founder of Acuity Path. I support women entrepreneurs in understanding and transforming their relationship with money, while also mastering the systems and processes to manage it with confidence. I combine deep mindset work with practical money tools so that you can move out of fear, step into clarity, and build a future that feels supportive and sustainable. Whether you're watching from your desk or taking a quiet pause in a busy day, I'm really glad that you're here. In today's video, we're going to explore how financial clarity replaces fear with grounded leadership, and more specifically, the difference between leading from clarity versus simply hoping everything is okay. My hope is that this conversation helps you see your money choices with more compassion and feels more grounded and trusting for yourself as you move forward. Let's dive in. I want to start today with something simple. Have you ever said, "Business is good, I'm busy"? But if someone asks you what you actually made last month, you hesitate to answer? Not because things are falling apart, but because you're actually not completely sure. That quiet uncertainty does seem to have a way of showing up for us late at night. It doesn't shout at us, it just whispers. Are things actually okay, or are you just hoping that they're okay? And if that resonates with you, I want you to take a deep breath with me right now, because this is not about shame. This is not about being bad with money. It's all about clarity. When your numbers are fuzzy, your decisions feel heavy. So when someone invites you to a program, introduces you to a new tool, when you need to make a hire, or there's an opportunity, you suddenly find that your body gets tight. You may say yes very quickly because you're afraid to miss out. Or perhaps you say no because you're afraid to stretch. Or you might just sit for days overthinking it. Let me stress that this is not a weakness. What is actually happening is your nervous system is trying to protect you because you don't have enough information. So without the clarity, even a small decision can feel like you're in survival. And that can honestly be exhausting. Now, here's something important. I deeply believe in intuition. It's actually a part of how I make decisions. I did start my career as a CPA, which meant logic first, numbers first. But even then, there would be moments when something deep inside me would say, there's something more here. And that would get me digging a little bit deeper. That was intuition. But here's what I've learned over time about that. Intuition works more beautifully with clarity. It doesn't replace it. Guessing would sound like, I think I can probably afford this. Maybe. Where intuition sounds like, I know it's in my account, my expenses are covered, this aligns with where I'm headed, and it feels right. There's steadiness there. You had the knowledge, and then you applied your intuition. So when you know your numbers, your body will relax. You're not then trying to convince yourself, you're actually making a choice. And that is leadership. Financial clarity isn't about loving spreadsheets. I love them, but I don't expect everyone to love them. It's not even about tracking every dollar perfectly. In my own personal life, I don't do that. It's about spaciousness. When you can see what's coming, what's going out, and what's left, you stop reacting and you get to start responding. You stop shrinking in pricing conversations. You stop saying yes just because you're feeling scared of a quiet month. You stop making midnight decisions because a countdown timer triggered an urgency. Clarity doesn't make you rigid, it makes you more grounded. And grounded leaders make aligned decisions because you can make the decisions that fit where you're going. Let me ask you something gently. When you think about your current money decisions, are they coming from your vision and where you want to go, or are they coming from survival? Are you stretching yourself because it's aligned, or are you stretching yourself because you're afraid? Are you holding yourself back because it's a wise decision or a wise choice or something that you recognize that right now that is not something you need to move forward with? Or are you holding back because you're just unsure? These are not questions that I want you to judge yourself with. These are questions to create awareness because underneath every money decision is something deeper: safety, trust, worthiness, capacity. When you feel safe with your numbers, something internally shifts. You stop performing competence. You start embodying it. You stop hoping that you're okay and you start knowing that you are. And that knowing, that changes how you lead. It changes how you price, how you invest, how you rest, and how you grow. And that's where logic and intuition finally meet. That's where the practical and the emotional will support each other, where your relationship with money becomes less about fear and more about clarity and choice. So, if you take one thing away from today's conversation, I hope it's this: you don't need to rush your next decision. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to stretch beyond what feels safe. Clarity doesn't require perfection. It just requires the courage to look, one gentle glance at a time. And when you move from guessing to grounded, you don't just build a stronger business, you build a calmer version of yourself, a steadier leader, a woman who trusts what she sees and trusts herself to choose wisely. And that version of you, she does already exist. She just needs the clarity to step forward.